Yo, morena. It is Thursday morning and it's pretty early. 5:23 a.m. in the morning. I woke up early and couldn't really go back to sleep, so figured I might as well just get up and go to the gym. We did go to sleep pretty early last night actually. We went to sleep around 9ish, which is really early for us. Like, I sort of normally stay up to like midnight, but we were watching a movie and then just she wanted to go to sleep, so I ended up going to sleep as well. But anyway, it's early, great start to the morning. Did some push-ups, partial push-ups. I'm trying to do 100 a day. I can't do full push-ups at the moment, so I'm just doing them on my knees, which is still quite embarrassing. But once I get rid of the gut and start losing more and more weight, I imagine that'll become so much more easier. And then I can start doing proper push-ups like normal people. So yeah, today is Thursday. It is a back and bicep day. So I'm going to head into the gym now. I've never gone to the gym at this time, so I'll be really interested to see if it's busy or empty. I think there'll be people there. It's not super early. If it was like 4 a.m, I'd be surprised if anybody was there. But yeah, let's see. Anyway, that's enough for now. I might see you in the gym. I might do a short recording if there's no one around. But otherwise, I'll catch up with you a little bit later in the day. Sweet. Yo. So, just finished the workout. It's just after 6:30. Gym was actually relatively busy. A little bit busier than I was sort of expecting. So I guess if you want the gym to yourself, you probably need to go like before 5. Maybe there was a couple dozen people, which is not too bad. You didn't really have to wait, so I got it done in like 45 minutes or something. Pretty good workout. One thing that I started to realize, and something that I'm probably going to change, and I might put my training on the screen or something, but I was tracking progress in a spreadsheet, and I'll try and put that on the screen. But basically, I was trying to increase the weight and the reps every week, or every workout, I should say. And I think I'm going to change it up a little bit, because sometimes lifting, like for, I guess you would call it ego, just to try and increase. I mean, maybe not ego, but you want to get stronger. You want to feel like you're making progress. But I started hitting certain weights where it's like, I don't really feel like I'm getting a good workout because the form's not great. So I actually started dropping the weight that I was lifting by a pretty substantial amount, just to try and make sure that I can like create that mind-muscle connection, because a lot of the exercises that I do, I don't have that mind-muscle connection, so I can't really feel and actually feel confident that I'm getting like a good solid workout in. So I guess that's another point. It's like, what are you training for? Are you training to get strong? Are you training to look good? Are you training for endurance? And then depending on what you're training for, there's obviously tailored and very specific ways and rep ranges and workouts and whatnot. Like at the moment, I'm kind of just working out for the sake of working out. Obviously, I want to develop more muscle, lose fat, because muscle burns more, and just for aesthetic reasons, to look good and all that. But I remember seeing something that when you are new to the gym, you know, there's no point in worrying about certain things because you're just weak and you haven't worked out and you haven't trained and you don't know what you're doing. So the first couple of months, you're just like figuring stuff out for yourself and what works and where your weaknesses are, what you need to develop. So I guess I'm in that phase because I've taken a long break from it. Prior to this, I never went to the gym for many years. I just always felt uncomfortable going to the gym. I thought that I had to reach a certain weight before I could go to the gym, which was like a stupid way of thinking in hindsight. But it was more of a confidence and self-esteem kind of thing. You might resonate with this when you don't really feel like, I don't know, it's a silly thing to say that you don't think that you fit in the gym because you look around and there's all these buff people and fit people working out. Comparison is the thief of joy, as I'm sure you've heard. So yeah, it can be a bit of a slippery slope when you start comparing yourself, and at the end of the day you just have to compare yourself to yourself and forget about everyone else. Nobody cares. Everyone's there for their own reasons. They're not there for you. They're not there to look at other people. You know, everyone's just trying to better themselves. So I guess I'm still figuring that out. Because sometimes you just don't feel like working out, but you know that it's good for you. Or you feel like you're not making enough progress, and you look at your progress, like I look at my spreadsheet, and one of the things that I liked about it was that I could kind of project, okay, if I continue slowly increasing the weight by one, what would you call it, level, like some of the machines go up in 5s, for example. So let's say I do 30 kgs. Next week I can do 35. Next week I can do 40. But then it's also like sometimes you're just going to hit a plateau. Like I don't really know what my maxes are in certain exercises because I just haven't really done it enough and I haven't locked it in. I keep going backwards and forwards because I'm just trying to get comfortable with like the mind muscle connection. Like for example, I was doing chin-ups where you can set the weight to help lift your body up, and the maximum weight assistance that you can get is 130 kgs. I weigh 140, so you know it's already it's not quite the weight, so it's not like I can do it without weight. Like when I first started, 130 was very hard and I was 145 maybe. Now it's a lot easier, and I think I did 100 kgs, which means that I was lifting 40 kgs of my own weight because 100 was assisted, and I could do like a couple reps. So I guess it's just like it's a really slow journey. We want things to happen quickly, but the reality is things are going to take time, and it's probably not going to be as quick as you want it to be, and that's okay as long as you're making progress. And I think ultimately that's the journey, that's the point of all of this. You know, whether this is doing this every single day for a year, the reality of the situation is that for a lot of us who have been big all of our lives, you know, I've been alive for like 36 years. 30 plus of those has been big, you know, since like childhood. So to expect immediate results in less than a year is just silly. I understand that. I'm not stupid. But sometimes it can be incredibly disheartening when you don't see progress. And yeah, I guess that's why some of us get stuck, because we're just not seeing as much progress as we want to see. And then we fall off and we go back to bad habits. But you just can't give up. You just can't give up. You just have to keep pushing it's kind of like to be successful, I guess, and to run successful businesses. You know, all of these people that have made it really successful, a lot of it just came from them not giving up. You know, businesses that fail, start another one, fail, start another one. Sometimes failing itself arguably accelerates you to success, because you learn more and more just by doing. Whereas if you never fail, you know, you're probably never going to succeed unless you get really lucky. Some people do get lucky, don't get me wrong. Some people inherit things. But I think the general rule is that you need to just try a lot of things, experiment, fail, take risks. You know, this applies to life as well. So, anyway, this is beginning to ramble a little bit. So, I'm conscious of time. I don't want to waste too much time in the morning. I want to go home. I'm not hungry, I'm just thirsty. So, I'll go home and do some stuff. And then I'll have breakfast, maybe around 9ish. So yeah, see you later. Yo, it's a little after 9 o'clock in the morning. This is the second attempt recording. I keep having issues with storage on my phone, so I need to delete yesterday's videos that I've already recorded. But anyway, I've just had breakfast. So it was the last overnight oats. It's actually my fiance's because she didn't want it, and her portion is like less, like almost half of mine. So to top it up, I just added in some yogurt and peanut butter, and then I also had some leftover pretzels that we got last Sunday. I left it for her, but she didn't eat it and I don't want to waste it, so a little bit heavy, hence why I wanted to go for a walk. And the weather's a lot better than yesterday. Plan for today is a bit of admin. She's doing afternoon today, so I'll drop her off around 3, pick her up later. I've also got a induction at Papakura Club, so I'll be doing that. But aside from that, rest of the day's focus is pretty much study and just little bits and pieces, catching up with a couple of LinkedIn contacts, and try to monitor the meals, try to get better at recording the foods on my MyFitnessPal. I might spend some time loading in all of the recipes, so it just makes it easier every day. That also help with accountability, sticking to the plan. I can just select, overnight oats, for example, from my recipe, or meatloaf, or burger patties, or whatever else we're making. So yeah, just walking up the driveway back to home, and I'll probably do another update later in the day. Cheers. Yo, so it's 2:30 in the afternoon. Just had lunch before, meatloaf. It's like 140 grams of meatloaf, 80 grams mashed potatoes, and then to offset the lack of protein, because at a smaller portion, I had a protein shake, which was a full scoop of protein, 2 cups of water, and a pear and a banana. That was quite filling. It's probably like, I want to guess, 800 calories roughly. So including the snack, which is maybe 400, 450, right up to 500, and then breakfast, probably another 700-800. What's that? 8 plus 8, that's 16 plus 5, 2100 calories for the day so far. And the target is 3180. We'll round it up to 32, so got another 1100 calories, which is basically a snack and dinner, which is due in an hour and a bit. But yeah, I've just dropped my fiance off, just got home, just decided to go for a walk. I find that it helps clear up the airway a little bit when you feel kind of bloated. Energy's a little bit better today, still feel a little bit tired, not quite as much as the other day. Probably helps that the sun's out. Just feel better when the sun's out and you're able to go for walks and clear your head a little bit. But yeah, I'm almost at home, so I'll wrap this part up, and you should see another video from me, another clip I should say, in this video. Basically going to be doing some study until 5ish, and then I've got to get ready, drive Papakura for induction, because I've just joined the club, so I can play for the pool team on their league nights, which is on Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to play pool tonight. There's normally like a weekly pool thing that I've been going to, but my relatives-in-law who sort of organise it aren't going to be here, so I'm not sure if anyone else is going to be organising it. But if I do, I'll get in some steps. You might be surprised how many steps you get just walking around the pool table. So I'm sitting at 4,000 before I did this, 4,000 steps, so I should hit 5.5 after this, and then if I do play pool, maybe another 1,000 to 2,000. So I should definitely hit 8,000 for the day. 10 would be great, but we'll see how it goes. Sweet, see you later. Yo, it's Nate. It's just around 5:30 p.m. in the afternoon or evening. I just had a snack, which I have got some photos, so I'll pop it on the screen. But it was 100 grams of frozen berries. I think it was 150 grams of protein yogurt. And then I also had like a smallish dinner. It was 3 burger patties with some lettuce. It's pretty good. It doesn't look like much, but it's kind of feels like enough food to get me through the night, hopefully. Just about to head off to Papakura for an induction, and I might play some pool probably for an hour or two, and then I need to go home and pick up my fiance from placement. But yeah, unfortunately it's probably going to be a late night just because she finishes late, so I won't get to sleep until like 11:30, but I'll still try to get up. Like today I got up at 5, so I'll try to get up at 5 tomorrow, and I think I've got a day off at the gym, or I'll have to check. Anyway, that's it. Just a brief update, and I might touch base a little bit later. Sweet. Kia ora. So it's like 10, close to 10:30. I'm just waiting at the car park for my fiance and figured I'll do a final update for the day. I did the induction at Papakura and basically stayed and played pool for the rest of the night. I only just got here now, so I was there for like 2 to 3 hours and didn't drink or eat anything, and I started to feel quite drained because you can't take like water bottles into the club, and I didn't get a drink from the bar or anything, so I managed to do quite a bit of steps. I'm at almost 9,000, which is pretty good. I think before I got there I was at maybe 6, so like I said, you'll be surprised how many steps you can get just from walking around a pool table. So yeah, reflection on energy levels. I've been active this evening, so I did start feeling drained though, just because I hadn't drunk anything for ages, and I think I didn't have enough food, but I'm not going to eat anything. It's far too late. I don't want to have anything in my system. I'm just waiting for my fiance, and then hopefully we can just shoot home and I'll just go straight to bed and then try and wake up early, like I said, to start tomorrow. I was just reflecting on these videos, and I want to try and keep them really short and really low effort, low maintenance, because they're starting to become a burden, and I never wanted them to become a burden. I mean, I'm unemployed at the moment. I'm not working, so I have all this free time, so it's really easy. But when I do get a job, hopefully this interview that I had yesterday pans out and I find out next week, if I move forward. But basically, like, when I get a job, my day is going to be so different. I'm going to be way busier. I'm not going to be at home as much. I'm going to be driving into the city, etc., and I'm going to have to figure out a way to weave health and sticking to the diet just as part of life, and that's the challenge, right? That's the challenge with everything. Is it's one thing to set a plan, but life happens, things change, circumstances change, environment changes, and we have to adapt, and we have to make the best of the situation. So I'm already thinking, like, when I get a job, depending on what it is and where it is, I might have to, there might be days where I have to kind of eat in or, buy food. And I'm going to need to make smart choices. I'm going to need to make healthy choices. Or just do meal prep and just take in a lunchbox, which is fine. But, there's some element of planning and thought involved with that. And, I think still, regardless of what happens, the discipline from the morning routine and just the day routine, and let's say that you get a job, I get a job, the midday is going to be different, but the morning and the evening should still be solid. Like, I should still get up early, I should still make time to go into the gym, etc. On the days that I need to drive in the city, for example, and beat the traffic, that's going to be probably a challenge. I'll need to figure out, like, if I want to beat the traffic, I don't know what the traffic's like. I haven't needed to drive into the city, but I would imagine you want to hit the road like 6, 7 in the morning, maybe 8 at the latest, to try and beat the traffic. So if that's the case, then you work backwards. Okay, our gym session, you need to be like up at 5 o'clock to go to the gym at 5:30, to be done by 7 6:30 to have a shower, 7, get ready, yada yada yada. So I am conscious of how am I going to pivot and continue this series, like practically for an entire year with a job. Because at the moment it's easy. I just have all the time in the world to do whatever I want when I want. That's not going to be the case when I'm working a 9 to 5, like many of you have to deal with, of course. But yeah, I want to continue to do these videos. I want to keep them interesting. I want to keep them low maintenance on my side, because when it comes to the editing process and I have to like stitch all these videos together, and then I look at them and I'm like, oh, that one's too long. I said that I was going to put this picture and now I have to find the picture. It's just a headache. It becomes a headache, like seriously. The amount of effort that you put into just making a simple video that maybe nobody will watch, but nonetheless it's a simple video. Like, you might be astounded. If you're anything like me and you're a perfectionist, you might be astounded at how much effort and time it actually takes just to make a single video. And you do this every day. So you want it to be efficient. You want it to be... I'm just trying to find a balance, right? That's what this whole journey is about. It's also about holding myself accountable, but it's also about learning. Like, I'm going to learn so much by publishing 365 videos. A lot of them are going to be duds. They're not going to be good. They're going to be hard to watch. They're going to be unstructured. They're going to be full of rants and whatnot. But eventually, they should get better, and they should become a lot more enjoyable, and they should become consistent, because I'm all about consistency. And at the moment, I'm really just in experimentation mode. So anyway, this is the second time I've recorded this. The first one was 9 minutes. This is now 7 minutes. I'm just going to stop talking. So if you have made it this far and you are still watching and you're following me along this journey, wow, that's all I could say. Appreciate you. Yeah, maybe you come in and I've got a whole bunch of these and you can just binge watch them. Cool. Suit yourself. Or if you're following along in real time and you've caught this part of the beginning, you know, don't worry, it's not going to stop. I'm going to do this for the whole year. Alright, I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.